Welcome to combination number 3. The only two things you're going to need are a 55-centimeter physio ball and a 5-pound weight. So Sarah is going to trap the ball under her hip. Exactly. Bring her arms into double salute. She's going to pull her lats wide and down, lift the pelvic floor, wrap the transverse abdominis, and she's going to come up in a side bend. Good. And back over, really lengthening out through the top of her head. And reach, and back over. Keep wrapping that transverse. And reach, and she's really feeling this in her oblique, right in this muscle right there. And she's pulling that muscle away from my finger and back in. And she's sculpting it in towards her belly button and back in. She's gonna slow down just a hair and lift and over. And let's just do 2 more and lift and over. And I want you to lift and hold it there and reach the arm out. And you're gonna stay there and pulse, good, and pulse. Keep the ribs closed and pulse just to really solidify that oblique. And 6, good, and 7, and 8. Excellent. She's gonna come back down. She's gonna place her supporting elbow on the ball. Most importantly, she's really gonna draw that supporting shoulder wide and down. She's not gonna let this shoulder stick up into her ear. She's gonna wrap her abdominals and she's gonna lengthen and lift this leg up to the side and lower. And up and lower and lift, good, and lower and keep going. She's really lifting up her pelvic floor. I know we're doing an outer thigh exercise, but she's thinking about her abdominals and her lats the entire time. 1 more and hold. She's gonna rotate that leg a little more parallel, bingo. Heel to butt and point, extend, yes. And flex and bend, slow it down, point, extend. You wanna move with dynamic, and flex, bend, and point, extend. She's really working her hamstring. Flex and bend, and point, extend. Lift that pelvic floor, bend, and extend. Let's do 1 more time. And bend, good, lats down, and hold little circles. Now, this looks like it's for the outer thigh, but it's really for the oblique. She's gonna pull this away from my finger, just like that, and it's awesome. Reverse your circles, and 1, good, keep pulling the lats down. Lift the pelvic floor, good, 5, and 6, and 7, and 8, excellent. Phew. All right, girl, roll that ball down just a little bit, and she's gonna put it on her armpit, head in the hand. She's gonna reach forward and pick up that 5-pound weight. Let's extend this leg out to the side and press the instep into the floor so that you're activating that inner thigh. And go ahead, don't sickle the foot, pick up the pinky toe side. Good, perfect. She's locking her elbow in towards her waist, closing her ribs, lengthening out through the top of the head. For the rear deltoid and the rotator cuff, she's gonna open the door and close the door, ribs closed. She's gonna open the door without moving that elbow and close the door, excellent. And really squeezing at the back of the shoulder blade, good, right where my thumb is. I want you to feel that squeeze. And lower, and continue. It's like you're opening the door and this upper arm is like the hinges on the door. So your arm is perfectly at a right angle. Good, let's just do 2 more, you feeling it? Squeeze, and lower, and squeeze, I'm so sorry, and lower, but not really, and 1 more, squeeze, hold it, and lower, good, put that weight on the floor. Excellent, Sarah. Reach over, grab the wrist, and give yourself a nice side stretch. Whew, deep breath. Good. All right, we're gonna move on to some abdominal work. She's gonna roll off the ball, coming onto her back on the floor, and we're gonna do something called double leg stretch. It's a really great Pilates exercise. So she's lying on her back with the ball extended right over her chest. She's in chair pose, ribs are closed, lifting the pelvic floor, wrapping the transverse abdominis, lats wide and down. In chair pose, it's though her legs are in a chair, right? And she's using her abdominals to hold up her legs, not her quads. She's in a perfect right angle with these legs, and that's a good chair pose. She's gonna pull her lats down so far that she lifts up her head and shoulders, keeping the belly button tight and keeping the spine in this exact position. She's gonna open the arms and legs away from the body, ears by the biceps, perfect, and drag it back in. And reach it out, pulling in, and in. That's awesome. Good. This is a super hard exercise if you really wrap the transverse. Sarah is really strong, and you can see how she's, really working hard and struggling a little bit at the top. So take it easy, and if you need to decrease the range of motion, make it smaller in order to make it easier for yourself. Feel free to do that. Let's just do 2 more. Wrap that transverse. This looks really good. And close. We're going to do 1 more. As you drag the legs in, drop the sits bones even deeper into the floor. 1 more just for that one. Out. And if she drops the sits bones, she solidifies that neutral on the way in and really works the lower abdominals. That's great. Lengthen the legs out on the floor. Keep the ball right over your chest and the head goes down. She's going to do roll-ups now, and this is a nice active restorative move at the end of all of this really hard work. She's going to inhale. As she exhales, the arms are going to come over the head. She's going to close the ribs and drop the lats even further down. Good. And she only goes as far as she can while maintaining this activation. She doesn't go further than she can. Whoa, and blow that rib cage, right? Excellent show of badness. All right, now she's gonna bring the ball back up over her chest. She's gonna take an inhalation, lift the head and shoulders and roll up, pulling the belly button away from my evil fingers. And she's gonna stretch over the legs and reach. She's gonna inhale, draw the lats down first, belly button in second, and she connects her spine to the floor 1 vertebra at a time as she rolls back. Good, and over the chest. Exhale, reach back. Reach up. Exhale and lift. She's peeling her spine off the mat. Beautiful. 1 vertebra at a time. Getting a nice stretch. And lats down. And belly button into my hand. Connect to the mat with the spine. Beautiful. 1 more time. Inhale. Exhale. Reach up and peel, belly button in, that a girl, and exhale, and reach over, good, and lats down, perfect, belly button into my hand, and she rolls down, and relax, excellent, I'll take that. Very good. Now the bad news, or good news, depending upon how you want to look at it, is that we have to do the other side. So let's have her come up. We'll flip her around. She'll trap the ball under the hip and get herself into double salute. Now with this leg that's extended, she's gonna press the instep down into the floor. So she's working this inner thigh, and that's really important. Double salute, she feels nice and balanced with the ribs closed, the transverse wrapped, the pelvic floor lifted, and she's gonna squeeze and open. Very nice. And she'll squeeze using that oblique right there and open. Good, lifting that pelvic floor. And squeeze, keep the ribs closed as you go over the ball. Good, and squeeze, excellent. And open, that's it. And reach, 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 that's it. And open. There's this other connection between the lat and the hip. And we've been talking about that a little bit in some of the other combinations. So you can make that connection as well. And again, she's super strong, but you can see her working really hard. Keep the length in both sides of the neck. And reach, good. And over, and only 1 more time. And reach right there and hold, and let's extend that arm and look towards it, and we're gonna reach on a 1 and 2, good. And pull in. And in, good. She's dropping both shoulders, lengthening through the top of the head, and reach, 2 more, reach, 1 more, and reach. And let's come down, bring the elbow into the ball. She's gonna press her elbow into that ball, really stabilizing her supporting side. She's gonna wrap her abdominals, she's gonna lengthen that leg and lift it up. And down, a little more parallel, up. The more parallel the leg is, if the toes are facing straight ahead, the more this outer thigh area that you're gonna hit, which is a little bit more important than the quad. We don't really wanna touch the quad too much. Right there in that outer thigh, kind of a stubborn area. Shoulders widen down. She has what we call good head on neck extension. Her head just grows very organically out of her neck. Harder to say than it looks. Good, and the lats are down. And the belly button is tight, and she's gonna hold this next one up there. She's gonna keep the foot flexed and bend, and point. And flex and bend, and point to extend. She has a huge amount of dynamic in this hamstring. She's not just making an empty movement, la 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 la, right? She's really pulling and pushing. She's working so hard, pulling and pushing. So she's really connecting intellectually to this movement. One more, pulling and hold that out there. Find the oblique, and here we go. Let's circle one, and look how tiny and slow this is, so that the pelvis is totally stable. She's not rushing, and she's not making too large a circle. It's just perfect. Let's reverse that circle. 1 and 2, hang on, pull away from my finger, good. I know, it's hard, almost over. And one more, and down. All right, I'm gonna hand her the 5-pound weight. She's gonna roll the ball away a little bit and grab onto the weight. She's gonna put her head in her hands so that her head just naturally extends out of the rest of her body. She's locked this elbow into her waist, her ribs are closed. She's really wrapping her transverse abdominis, and she's gonna open the door and squeeze that rear deltoid and close the door, excellent. And open the door and squeeze right where my finger is. And close, good, and extend out through the top of the head and open. Turn your chin down just a little bit, there we go, and close. So now her neck is completely relaxed. It's very important to keep the head and neck relaxed when you're working the upper body. That will really help you target the muscles that you're looking at. And we're looking at the muscles of the rotator cuff, primarily here the rear deltoid. And let's do 2 more. Squeeze, how's that stomach? Pretty tight, and down, and squeeze. Did I say 2? No, I lied. Shocking, I do that a lot. Let's just do 2 more from here, and I'm not kidding. 1, squeeze it. There, now I can feel it activating. And 1 more, squeeze, hold it, squeeze, 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 squeeze. I'll take that. Good. Bring the arm overhead, grab the wrist, and stretch it out. Good, nice side stretch. Excellent. And let's come onto the back, and we're gonna repeat that double leg stretch. 3 roll-ups, and you can go home. All right, arms up over the chest, good. Legs are in a nice chair position. Her ribs are closed. She's wrapping that transverse abdominis, lifting the pelvic floor. She's in a perfect chair position. Quads are soft. Pelvic floor is like a rock. She's gonna lift her head and shoulders. She's gonna maintain that spinal position, and she's gonna reach out and bring it in. Good job. Press it out and keep it long and in. Drag the sits bones away from you and reach, and like a plate in the pelvis, really flat. Sits bones into the mat. Good, let's do 3 more. Reach out, keep those lats connected and draw in. Try not to rush and reach out, stay connected. Oh yes, and in, do you feel that? Good, 1 more, reach out, look at the connection, that's beautiful, and drag it in, excellent. All right, let's come down. Whew. Inhale, almost done. Exhale, reach the ball back over the head, the ribs are closed, the lats are down, it looks beautiful. She lifts the ball back up over the chest. Exhale, lift the head and shoulders and roll up sequentially through the spine, 1 vertebra at a time. And she stretches over the legs, and inhale, and exhale, lats down, and belly button in, and roll it down, and connect. Ball over the chest. Exhale and close. Very good. And up. Lift the head and shoulders. And we're rolling, 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 and we stretch. And lats down, belly button in, and we roll, and over the chest. 1 more time, and exhale and reach. Very good. Over the chest. Good. Lift the head and shoulders, and roll it up. This is nice and smooth, and it looks really relaxing because it is. And lats down, and roll it back, and reach, and you're done.